Hi everyone, part 2, happy Easter. I'm gonna walk around here in my front yard in the hottest part of the day because that's the time I have. But I wanted to at least show what was yard look like in March because I'm keeping on with this monthly garden update, and yeah, so here we go. So here by my front fence, so first of all, those are two wreaths I made out of some old baling twine wire that I found out deep in the woods, and it's from either an old homestead or a moonshine distillery place, and yeah, I thought it was really interesting, so I just turned them into some decor. Anyways, this tomato plant here is one of the Everglades tomatoes, and you can see this is a 6-foot fence, and it is completely as tall as the fence. And if I open it, it is taking over the fence on this side as well. So it is ginormous, and it's got lots of tomatoes on it. Some of them are ready to be picked, and there's a lot of green ones as well. So yeah, that is one of the many Everglade tomato plants I have growing, and this of course just popped up by itself. And under it, which is kind of shading it a little bit, is that rose that I transplanted last year, and it's finally starting to grow now that nothing's eating it. So once this tomato dies off, I kind of just pick the pieces of it that's growing in front of the rose, and so it doesn't cover it too much, and it'll grow up nicely, hopefully. Over here, not much really to look at. I have some things like the twin flower coming back, so this will all bloom a pretty purple, and I have some cone flowers coming back. The St. John's wort, I don't know if I like that here. I might dig that up and put it somewhere else. It's just so, like, I don't know, like you can't really tell it's there, and it kind of needs to be somewhere else, I think, in a little more sunny location. So I might try to do something different there. But the rest of this is looking great. I mean, there's not much. It's just starting to wake up over here, so I mean, it's not, 100% flushed out, but I have some liatris over here that was eaten completely down by bunnies, but that's growing back. I have a couple plants of those. This is another one here. I have blue-eyed grass blooming all over the place in this spot. See them right there? Blue-eyed grass. I have a beautyberry, and look at this one. That's a pretty one. Blue-eyed grass and an lopsided Indian grass. There's another liatris right there that looks like it's been eaten by bunnies. My daughter has been looking for bugs. This is a Pineland heliotrope. The sun is really bright right now, so it's kind of hard to see, but maybe I'll come over here and you can see it a little better. But just a bunch of like native plants all throughout there, and I have a lot of frog fruit. That is primarily the ground cover in here. See, my daughter's been moving these logs. And the blue-eyed grass. I have lyre-leaf sage growing in here. I'm hoping this sunshine mimosa will take off. I have a few plants, but you see, it's called the sensitive plant because it closes up when you touch it. It's pretty cool. But they were all eaten by rabbits at the end of last year. I think I have one more plant that I don't know. There's one there, and then there's one here. So I think as we get more rain, those will take off. But they're so tiny, you never know. But I have volunteer flowers popping up, of course. Oh my goodness, I stepped on this log and it just like disintegrated. But it's okay, because rotten logs are what make good soil. And yeah, so I have a couple things, or a couple blue-eyed grass here blooming, and some goldenrod, some pony's foot. That's what this is. So these are all native plants in this section, and it's kind of a no fuss, no care area, which I enjoy. But I do need to add some more flowers, I think, something a little more interesting. Over here, this huge blanket flower is coming back like it always does. The Florida Green Eyes is blooming and going to seed. So this is the flower that smells like chocolate. It's pretty interesting. I have a corky stem passion flower vine here. Oh, look. That's a corky stem passion flower vine host caterpillar. Well, the corky stem passion flower vine is the host for the Gulf fritillary caterpillar and a zebra longwing caterpillar. I mostly see the Gulf fritillary butterflies, but there are some zebra longwings in the area. But there's some baby passion fruits on it and baby flowers. So my neighbor just got sod, and that looks really nice. I'm not opposed to grass. I just don't want to take care of grass, and I think there's a place for both. But their grass makes my native plants look good, so good for them. Over here, I have this bed, pretty much the same thing going on. The lyre leaf sage is what's blooming now. And then my daughter has her plant nursery, Aubrey's nursery, that she started selling little plants. And I thought that was the cutest thing. She made $6 yesterday. And then the front yard, the rest of it. I do have, just for point of reference, so I remember, I have coneflowers coming back in this bed. There's 2 plants at least coming back, so that's good to know. For some reason, I'm having trouble finding the right spot for coneflowers in my garden, so I'm trying to just remember where they're doing well and coming back on their own. This is all still pretty small, hasn't like completely fleshed out for the season, but the lyre leaf sage, goldenrod, I have some more Florida Green Eyes here. Let me zoom out some. Yeah, that's kind of all that's in here right now. And then I did put some marshmallow here, but that is, I think, struggling because it's not as wet up here. I have some yarrow and my black-eyed Susan. If you see, something's been eating it. I need to put the bunny stuff back down. Black-eyed Susan there, and another big plant here. So those will be pretty. Oh, no, you don't. These are, come here. No, sorry, I just smushed it. Those are lubber caterpillars. But look how pretty this plant is. So pretty. Here is the other flatwood plum tree. It's all leafed out and doing well, looking healthy, and it's got a bunch of new growth. So like this from here to the end is all new growth. So that is exciting. So I'm hoping next year maybe to get actual fruit from it. We will see. This pot was experiment. It did well. I mean, it's blooming. It's just a wildflower mix. This is Clarkia. There's some, forgot what that is. This is a bachelor button. It had cosmos, and I think it has nigella. I don't know what else is in here, but it gets so hot right here during this time of day. It's like full sun, and it only gets water when I run my sprinklers, because it's set up to drip from that. So it gets not enough water and it kind of is faded away. But you know what? It is what it is. I still get pretty flowers. I might come in and take some of them out, and who knows. In this section, I took all this out. So my thing was, last year I planted, oh look, and I just noticed that they're all like popping back up. I planted the purple mustard, or the giant red mustard, in this section. And then I planted carrots, and nothing was growing. It was all staying super tiny, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I pulled some carrots up at the end of the year, and I realized that I had nematodes in this bed. So I couldn't really plant anything in it of value, like, you know, to eat, because I didn't want it to go to waste. So I planted lots of marigolds in here, and I'm just going to let them go to seed. I planted some sugar cane, or it's sugar drip sorghum, which is a type of cane, which we can use for cane syrup or cane sugar. So I have a few of those, but it looks like something has been eating them. It's so aggravating. So I'm gonna have to put some deterrent down. Hopefully whatever's eating it will stop eating it once I get some deterrent down. But I have enough of them popped up, I can transplant them in little spots. But I thought a big sorghum, stand of sorghum would be pretty over here. I mean, there's a few carrots left, but nothing of significance. And I replanted some greens, and there's marigolds in here, and hopefully those self-sow. But something keeps eating all of the flowers off the marigolds, like completely the whole flowers. So the flowers that are left are just the dry seed heads, and yeah. So this bed is being challenging right now because something's eating everything, but we'll figure it out. And then I transplanted my rose that was over by that front door. It was getting too much shade over here, and it's already leafed out, you see. And so hopefully it grows nicely in this area. Let's see. Over here, this bed over here is kind of the same. Everything's coming back. My oak leaf hydrangea is leafing back out. My Florida peperomia. Those are some random spider plants that I've had for a long time. There's my front porch. But I have these Walter Cooley's water willow. These are the endemic endangered plant here in Florida. Those are all coming back, and there's little baby seedlings on the ground. I have some columbine, which is a native plant, growing. So, and then some baby columbine has seeded itself, which is good. 2, 3. So that's exciting. So columbine have a really interesting flower. So this area is looking kind of the same. I seeded some things in there, which I don't really remember what they were. I think it was valerian. Maybe not. I don't know. That's a beauty berry there. And then over here is my Confederate or star jasmine trellis. I came in and did a big, clean up of it because it was really unruly. But it's starting to bloom, and the blooms smell so good. Oh, it's like heaven. This is what I remember smelling as a kid. That is why I have this plant, because it just smells so good. It smells like the South to me. And then we come up with we end with my coral honeysuckle. And that is doing amazing. There's hummingbirds over here every day. Sounds like there's a bird inside there. I don't know. But the coral honeysuckle is a fan favorite of the hummingbirds. And I just think it's pretty. It's wild, but it's pretty. And speaking of wild, this is my wild wildlife corridor between mine and my neighbor's yard. So like we actually own this, but we have to leave it open, you know, for access and stuff. But there's a lot of cool wildflowers growing back here. There's pepperweed, we have fleabane. There's a couple things that are not really desirable, but then we have blanket flower, cudweed, all sorts of stuff growing back here. So I might mow it soon, I might not, who knows. But anyways, that will make for a very short video today. It's Easter, so I want to go finish up my Sunday. But I thank you so much for watching, and hopefully next month I'll have even more updates. So appreciate you and have a good one.